All right, big news involving the Miami Dolphins. This is a team, as Dolphins fans, you guys are very well aware of the fact they are among the top contenders, not just in the AFC East, not just in the AFC, but in the entire NFL. But the Dolphins reportedly are not done. There's big news today involving the NFL and Miami that shows the Dolphins are planning potentially a massive move.
Yeah, Nick, I think this story that you found is very, very interesting. Dolphins fans are going to love this one, so stay tuned. But Dolphins fans, we've seen a lot of preseason football so far. We're all probably now ready for the real thing. But preseason, everybody looking good. So far, who is your preseason MVP for the Dolphins? Who's really stood out to you throughout these preseason games? Let us know in the comments below. We really love to hear from you. But Nick, let's get on into it. What is the next thing on the Dolphins' plate?
So the big news that's happened this afternoon is that the Indianapolis Colts are reportedly allowing running back Jonathan Taylor, who is notably in an argument with the team in terms of his contract and things like that. They're allowing Jonathan Taylor to pursue a trade, and there are reports that the Miami Dolphins are expected to potentially, and I believe likely, pursue Jonathan Taylor in this trade scenario. We've got a report from NBC Sports. Mize, if you bring up the report, I will read from it. All right, there is at least one team that has a potential interest in trading for Colts running back Jonathan Taylor. According to Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald, who I've read a little bit about Barry Jackson, he seems to be a pretty reputable guy, has good sources, things like that. The Dolphins are expected to explore a deal for Taylor. Indianapolis granted Taylor permission to seek a trade on Monday, according to multiple reports. The Dolphins reportedly had an interest in running back Delvin Cook before he signed with the Jets. But Miami, who has several effective running backs, was not interested enough to outbid New York. Jackson notes that he's not sure what the Dolphins would offer the Colts for Taylor, but Miami does like that Taylor is young and in his prime. All right, so look, obviously, like with any deal, it would depend on not giving away everything for Jonathan Taylor. The Colts reportedly at first said we wanted a first-round pick. Now there are some reports that they're just looking for a package of day 2 and day 3 picks. I think there's going to be some agreement there, however this deal potentially works out. I think a destination to Miami makes a lot of sense for two really big reasons. Number one, and we've talked about this a lot of times, the AFC right now, every top contender in the AFC is in the middle of an arms race, whether it's the Chiefs, whether it's the Bills, whether it's the Dolphins, whether it's the Jets, whether it's the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? Every team that thinks they're a contender in the AFC is doing everything they can to win now, and they're aggressively going at it. And what I always say, and Miles, we talk about this all the time, you don't win an arms race by sitting on the sideline. You don't sit there and know the Miami Dolphins right now. They know this. We know this. Everybody knows this. They're in the middle of a championship window right now with Tua currently on his rookie deal. You have to take advantage of that. And that means potentially giving up a little bit more than you'd like for a guy like Jonathan Taylor. Now, look, I'm not saying give up 2 number ones or even 1 number one, but potentially a number 2, maybe a couple of number 4 or something like that. I think it makes sense. He's a great player. He was an NFL leading rusher 2 years ago. He can be a dominant force on your offense. I tell you what, you add Jonathan Taylor to this football team, this is a team that easily scores over 500 points next season. They can beat you with speed. They could beat you with power. I think this is 100% the right move to make. And I think this is also a shot in the bow to the New York Jets, who did get Dalvin Cook outbidding the Miami Dolphins for Cook. I think Jonathan Taylor is obviously a much better player than Cook. I think this could be a massive message to send to New York that Miami is still clearly the better team. But Miles, let me throw it over to you now. What are your thoughts on this potential deal here? And just, do you think the Dolphins should go after Taylor, or do you think they should sit this one out?
No, you have to go after Taylor. I think it's a necessity at this point. Obviously, they made a strong push for Dalvin Cook, but it seemed like he was dead set on going to New York Jets with Aaron Rodgers. But I think Jonathan Taylor, you wait out and get lucky, because now all of the top running backs have already signed with teams that were looking for running backs. The Patriots get Ezekiel Elliott. The Jets get Dalvin Cook. Now you have your pick of the litter as far as what you want to offer up for Jonathan Taylor. I think reportedly the first report came out and says that the Colts are going to be looking for 1 first-round pick for Taylor, but kind of stinks for them because they were way behind the curve as far as getting him out on the trade block. So they don't really have the luxury of saying what they do or don't want for him. They kind of can just get what they can get for him, or they're going to sit on that contract and have him not play, because it seems as if they have come to the conclusion that this is an irreparable situation between both parties. Jonathan Taylor does not want to come back to the Colts whatsoever. So I think this is a great situation for the Dolphins to be in. We got to see how they're going to attack this one, but I think it is looking very, very good, because this is a guy, we just go back one season to 2021, who was phenomenal. 1,800 rushing yards, 18 touchdowns, 5.5 yards a carry. This guy was the belle of the ball, top running back in all of the NFL. And I think with this Dolphins team, he can really shine because he doesn't have to put that entire workload on his back. He's got a ton of guys. We've got Devon Achane, the young rookie speedster, who can take shares with him. You have Mostert, who can take some shares of this workload. This will be truly a dynamic force at running back. And as a Dolphins fan, you don't have to feel worried about what if somebody gets hurt, because there's literally 3 guys on this team as far as running backs go that all can contribute. So it's really just, a fool's bounty of riches in the running back department if they were able to get a guy like Taylor. I think this would be a phenomenal move for the championship-like run the Dolphins seem they're making, and I love this opportunity. I think this could be huge for the Dolphins.